In today's episode, we are very excited to have Oren Inditzky with us, the Vice President and General Manager of Online Stores at Wix. Oren has a wealth of knowledge in e-commerce and online store management, and we're thrilled to dive into his insights today.
Absolutely. I'm really keen to learn from Oren in this episode, and we were also joined by Jill Sherman, who's the co-founder of Modalyst as well, who's now working as part of Wix. So we had a great conversation, quite a large group of us talking on the call, but it really enabled us to work out what the future of e-commerce is, what are the key trends to watch out for, and what makes the best online stores stand out. We'll also be discussing their thoughts on the dropshipping business model and when to invest in improving your store design.
So stay tuned for actionable advice that you can implement right away. Let's get started. Welcome to the Dropship Unlocked podcast. I'm Lewis Smith, the founder of Dropship Unlocked, and with me is our client success coach, James Erdley. Now, when we're not recording the podcast episodes, we're running our own e-commerce businesses and helping aspiring entrepreneurs launch their own high-ticket dropshipping businesses. Keen to build your own 6 or even 7-figure business? My book, The Home Turf Advantage, is your blueprint for launching a profitable online store. Grab your copy at htabook.com today and let's get you started. Now sit back, relax, and let's unlock your potential with the Dropship Unlocked podcast.
Today, we're excited to welcome Oren Inditzky, the VP and GM of Online Stores at Wix, as well as Jill Sherman, Head of Suppliers Hub at Wix.com and a co-founder of Modalyst as well. So fantastic to have you both on board with us today. Perhaps you could quickly give us a quick overview of your journey to get to this point in your careers. So we start with you, Oren, now the VP and GM of Online Stores at Wix. Could you let us know how you got yourself firstly into that position?
Thanks, James. Great to be here. So today, I basically lead the online stores business at Wix, which enables merchants around the globe to build professional online stores and grow their e-commerce business. Today, we power more than 700,000 live online stores with thousands of new stores joining every week. Prior to Wix, I worked as head of product for one of the major brands of Expedia Group. Prior to that, I was director of software product management at Dell in the Silicon Valley. And throughout my career, I was mostly responsible for mass market mobile and web apps, e-commerce and SaaS. And I learned the fundamentals of software product management as an intern at Amazon.
Fantastic. It's fantastic to have you on the show today, Oren. And I think it's great to hear from somebody at Wix, because when we're just getting started into e-commerce, or perhaps we're even a bit more established, it's good to know what the best tools are out there at the moment in order to help us to progress our e-commerce businesses. So good to have you on board. Oren, we're speaking dropshipping and how best to build our e-commerce businesses. And also we're joined by Jill Sherman. So similarly, Jill, it'd be great to hear about your journey up to this point now with Wix.
Sure. Thank you for having me here. So not only at Wix, but I was a co-founder of Modalyst, which is actually a Wix acquisition. So I like to say we're sort of like an innovation hub inside Wix that has various ways to connect suppliers and merchants to various types of inventory. I have an atypical background. I started as an executive in retail and within the industry overall. So I was at Vogue, working on the photo shoots across the world. I moved to Asia and started a brand with 2 other people that scaled to be 40 distribution points in China. I managed the buying team at Harvey Nichols, which was sort of the initial part of Modalyst and how we started. And then I worked for Prada to help them scale and open all their new stores across Asia Pacific. And so I took a hard look at myself and my career to figure out like where I wanted to be. I ended up going to business school at MIT. And I'm a co-founder of Modalyst in the halls of MIT, and we founded the business straight from there. The rest is history. That was about 12 years ago.
Amazing. Fantastic. So huge background in retail, and no doubt for yourself, Jill, e-commerce played a large role in certainly the last 12 months of your career. Tell us about, in terms of like the e-commerce side of things from like the buying point of view.
Yeah, good question. So when Modalyst was first founded, we actually were not in retail. We were not in e-commerce. We were in brick and mortar. And so we were connecting wholesale brands with brick and mortar stores. But we had a huge influx of e-commerce stores that were signing up for Modalyst. And so we started to track their actions, speak to the customers, and we eventually built the platform that they actually needed, which is one of the very first dropshipping platforms. So we were the first dropshipping platform on Shopify, the first on Wix, the first on BigCommerce. And that happened by just speaking to customers and understanding what their needs were. So that's how we shifted into e-commerce. It was a bit early in the scene. Now there's like over 200 platforms out there. But we were one of the initial ones connecting especially independent brands and independent stores.
Amazing. Fantastic. So, I mean, I can see the trend there that you managed to get into and the trend into e-commerce generally that's been happening. And speaking with customers, you find out exactly what they want. So, Oren, I'm keen to hear from yourself now speaking with someone high up at Wix. What is the e-commerce offering that Wix can really provide to people that want to own their own online store?
Sure. So as you and probably the audience know Wix as the world-leading website building platform, and Wix eCommerce provides merchants with professional tools to establish, manage, and grow their e-commerce business. In general, our platform allows merchants to sell their products across various channels, including their own branded online store, their own mobile native app, physical point of sale, as well as native integrations with external e-commerce marketplaces and social media platforms. In addition, it also enables merchants to manage their e-commerce operations from end to end, covering all sorts of activities such as sourcing products, which Jill will tell you more about later, managing your inventory, accepting payments, fulfilling and shipping orders, obtaining analytics, and basically everything you need in order to run a successful e-commerce business.
I'm sure Wix has done lots of product development to make sure that they're providing an all-encompassing offer to people looking to build their own website as well as selling products. But I'd be keen to dive into what would you say differentiates Wix from the other website building tools that are out there right now?
Sure, yeah, that's a great question. So our solution is mostly known for its versatility, ease of use, cost effectiveness, and efficiency. I'm proud to say that we have unmatched no-code storefront design capabilities with advanced drag-and-drop editor, which has no-code storefront elements customization and hundreds of fully customized free templates. It's also coming with a wide and complete spectrum of native capabilities and features that basically cover all your essential needs, which means that you're practically ready for business out of the box. It basically ensures quick learning curve, high quality, and we are also committed for ongoing updates and enhancements. That said, as I mentioned before that, we have an extensive app market with hundreds of apps for every single and unique use case you might have in mind. And we're built on an open platform with both APIs and SPIs that allows you to create your own unique tailored solution. I would say last but not least, Wix is not only an e-commerce website builder. And basically what it allows you and any other merchants is to expand your business beyond the online store. So you can go into offer services to book, events to attend, blogs to read, premium content to sell, and basically any type of online business you can think about so you don't have to limit your growth.
Fantastic. I remember when I first started with website builders, Wix was one of the first that I tried out, and it amazed me how quickly we can use templates to look, get a really professional website started. Would you say, Oren, that drag and drop element, does that allow people, even if they've had no background in building a website, to get started without needing any real technical knowledge or even tech know-how?
For sure. I think that I would even go and say that beyond the ease of use and the cost effectiveness, because you don't need to spend a lot of hour coding or paying someone to do the coding for you, I would say it's even fun. Okay, so go and design and create your own customized and unique. You can either start from template, you can start from scratch, or you can use AI, and we'll talk more about that later.
Yeah, I'd love to dive into AI as well. But on that point, because we have a lot of people that listen or want to get into e-commerce, but perhaps they've got like a trades background or they've never really had to operate with systems before, or when they think about building a website, the idea of the pictures of coding comes into their mind and it's completely foreign. But what I think is fantastic about these drag and drop options is that you can literally create a template and within minutes or a few hours, you can have a fantastic store built. And it's a lot of fun as well. It doesn't have to be scary. It doesn't have to be a new language. But moving into AI, because it is probably the buzz topic right now, especially about how we can speed up getting a store built. How do you think that merchants, people wanting to start to sell online, can leverage AI to help their businesses today?
Yeah, I think that what's beautiful about AI that is really something practical and already today offer tremendous advantages for online merchants that they can use tomorrow morning. I would mostly want to talk about two main types of AI that can benefit online merchants, and that's generative AI and machine learning. Now, generative AI, which made most of the headlines lately, basically enables online merchants to effortlessly create original e-commerce related content. And machine learning, on the other side, basically uses a data loop process of capturing data, analyzing it, translating insights into adjustments in the store, and then continuously making adaptation to further optimize your store. In other words, it basically takes the input from customer interactions to improve the experience for subsequent customers. Now, in terms of generative AI, and this is the AI that you are mostly going to meet when you start, create, and generate your first online store or further optimize the content, we got several newly released built-in native capabilities within e-commerce that I can share with you. So if you're just starting, okay, you're listening to this podcast and you want to start your own e-commerce business, you can use Wix AI to choose your business name, find the perfect domain for you, and even design a professional logo for you. Just with AI, you give it a few indications, you answer a few questions, you get several options, and then you can further manually or using AIs to optimize and get exactly what you're looking for. Once you get things up and running, you can really brush up your SEO. And that's a scary thing for people that, haven't had experience with it, don't have a lot of funding for acquisition. So today at Wix, you can really use AI to brush up your SEO. It basically creates optimized suggestions for title tags, meta description based on your existing page content. And it also allows you to change the tone of voice to match your brand. Also, we have within the Wix editor another general AI text creator tool for any type of content that you have on your website, even if it's not truly e-commerce related content. Anything relates to titles, paragraphs, blogs, and basically everything your site requires. We also recently generated an AI tool that enables you to create eye-catching content for social media and emails. So you got your store ready, you want to start market it, you brushed up your SEO, now you want to invest some more money. We can do all of that for you to create the images, the text, the videos, show off the products, and also identify the optimal posting times for you. And probably the most important thing, we can also help you create the content to multiple different customer segments, based on the intent, tone of voice, messaging you're looking for, and so on. We didn't talk about images, and that's a whole another field. We have a built-in within the offering AI image creator to create the right images for your site, to generate engagement, to create that look and feel that you're looking for, and also auto background removal and image enhancement tools that you can take photos of your products with your phone, remove the backgrounds, bring new backgrounds, and enhance the photo to truly look like great pack shots that otherwise would take you a lot of time, long production, is also a lot of cost. Once you get your store ready, and then you might be overwhelmed with analytics. We know that analytics is key in this world. Today, we have an AI chatbot that you can simply talk to, and the chatbot would generate reports for you to show you how you're doing, what you need to improve, what's going well, what's not going well, all as if you're talking to your own analyst using AI. Other things that AI is being used for, and that's last but not least, is today you can basically come in, start a chat with Wix.com, and then with AI, we are going to create your entire storefront from scratch with AI. So that's everything related to generative AI. Now, in the field of machine learning, what I see today, because I came from Expedia and Amazon, some of those machine learning capabilities of e-commerce was once exclusively available for the giant e-commerce out there. I had dedicated teams at Expedia that worked on things that now are being democratized. The first thing that I want to mention that we have on Wix is showing the right product to the right user at the right order to both remove friction and also increase the likelihood of conversion. These are capabilities that we used to have dedicated teams within giant e-commerce sites to generate the right algorithms. Today, we have this capability built into Wix with a third-party app called Twig. Beyond that, we also have built-in capabilities for smart product recommendations to show you related products, also viewed with, also purchased with, can truly, increase your average order value. So that's in a nutshell the capabilities that we already have today, and you can try them for free. But the good thing about AI that it's so easy to develop with the tools we have today, that if we would do this podcast in a week from now, we're probably going to have 2 more tools that I can tell you about. So that's a truly fascinating field.
Yeah, a very fast-moving field as well. So no, that is fascinating, Oren, to see how it's been so democratized to the point where individual store owners, like people we're speaking to with our audience and myself, when we first get started, we can access this on day one, not have to wait until we're doing 10K a month before we can hire teams that could do this. From day one, we can get these things. In terms of best practices, Oren, say just with the way that we teach in our program, we identify products that are selling well, and then with the program, and then we build a store around it. So putting examples to that, say for example, we can see that the barbecue market is doing well in the UK, and we'd like to sign suppliers so we can dropship barbecues to our customers. If I came to you with Wix, Oren, and said, look, I've got some suppliers on board, I've got some white background images, I know that I want to build a barbecue store, what would be the best practices in terms of how do I go from nothing to using AI to have built a barbecue store, to have enhanced the content, and to have product descriptions that really speak to a particular target customer?
Yeah, so the flow would basically be as if you're talking to me. But the better thing is that we have an AI that it's doing it way better than I would do it for you. So you actually start a chat with the AI and you tell the AI about your business. What's the field? What's your target customers? What you're trying to sell? What's your tone of voice? What differentiates you from the customer? And you continue to have that conversation. And as you speak, it understands more and more things about you. Which specific features to inject into your site? What's the specific design language it's going to use? And as you speak, it generates the store for you. Then you can easily tweak it, manually or with continued conversation. And you see the storefront being generated right under your fingertips without you doing anything. That's one thing you can do. The other thing, you can always, start a conversation. It would generate the back office for you. And then you can go the more traditional way of just browsing our hundreds of great and stunning templates, choose one of them that suits you and what you're looking for, and manually start changing them with the easy-to-use drag-and-drop tool that we have. From there, it's all about, generating the content. So basically, products are going to be generated for you. It's not going to be the exact product that you're actually going to use, but you're going to start seeing the look and feel of your store. It's going to generate the content for you, and also offer features for you to use, such as, things as back in stock, pre-order, and things like this. And from there, it's up to you to get it up and running and talk the analytics chatbot that we talked about, use AI to generate promotions and marketing and all these things that we talked about in the previous question.
Amazing. Yeah. I mean, from that, you can see how important it would be and how easy it would be for people with no experience of building a store to have that set up with help. And ChatGPT taught us that we can put a chatbot on the front of these amazing tools, so that to be able to use these tools, we just need to go back and forth and speak to somebody like we would in the local pub, asking them to build a store for you. So it's a great tool that we've now got access to. And content plays a big part, of course, in e-commerce and getting the right messaging in front of our customers. And social media is a large part of the content that we create. And with your experience and with Wix in particular, how can e-commerce merchants effectively use social media to enhance the performance of our stores?
Sure. I think, as you mentioned, I think social media is a game changer for e-commerce these days. The buying journey, today starts more and more in social media, with potential customers browsing reels on Instagram or watching videos on TikTok, seeing posts on Facebook and so on. Now, I think social media could be used very effectively in 2 areas, okay? The 2 main areas for you as a merchant. First of all, in customer acquisition, the other thing in customer retention. In terms of getting new customers, the good thing about social media that it really lets businesses of all sizes reach huge audiences without breaking the bank. Even small businesses can compete with the big eyes, connecting with potential customers directly and effectively. We've seen merchants on our platform getting flash sales with millions of dollars after they had a very successful account on TikTok and great videos and followers. And it's very important, I think, to have shoppable content in order to leverage that. So platforms such as Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube now have shopping features built in. And that means users can discover and buy products right from the posts and videos that we have. So what you should do, and we have that built in within Wix, is to sync your online store catalog with these platforms to make the shopping experience smooth and intuitive. Additional thing is that is, growing today, and it's a must-have for small merchants to generate awareness, is influencer marketing. So you should find there are platforms that you can use for this, the right influencers, especially those that are micro-influencers and can help you tap into niche markets that you're looking for. And these influencers can create authentic content that build trust and significantly boost brand visibility and engagement. So I would say these are the three main, and obviously there are way more things that you can start doing in terms of getting new customers. Now, in terms of keeping existing customers, it's all about creating interactive and personalized content. So you want to share user stories, behind-the-scene looks, and exclusive previews to keep followers hooked and coming back, not just to transact, just to get something new, additional values. And as they come back, once in a while, they will transact and shop, and you don't need to spend extra money to acquire them. Beyond that, I think it's very important to basically generate a social loop. And what I mean by that is social media basically allows you today to build a community. To build a strong and active social media presence basically allows you to build a loyal community around your brand. You should engage with customers through comments, direct messages, facilitate conversations, share user-generated content and reviews. And that way you show that you value their feedback, and it strengthens the connection with your brand. And again, people would come to your page not just to transact, just to get knowledge, to ask people, and that brings you and creates for you a great stage for them to eventually entice them to buy things from you.
Yeah, it gives us an opportunity to create a community. And I love the fact that Wix has really embraced this clearly with having it all integrated. So is it as simple as, is there an app in the Wix app store with the links into Meta with Facebook, Instagram, TikTok?
That's a great story, and I think Jill will share more, but it was one of the leading apps out there for omnichannel integration to an online store, to the various platforms, all the way from the leading marketplaces to the leading social platforms. They were so good that eventually Wix decided to acquire them, and now they're built into our system. So you don't need to go and use a third-party app or go look for something outside or manage your business from several different panes of glass. From one single pane of glass, you can manage your own catalog, create an online store, and manage all your social media activity and marketplace activity. So we have that within Wix.
Amazing. Yeah, I think that's the key, isn't it, Jill? And I'll bring you in on that point there, that having it all integrated, which I know it sounds like you had a big part to play in, it makes it so much more simple for our merchants essentially that are building these online stores.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So, we were acquired 3 years ago, and we're working on fully integrating Modalyst into Wix at the moment. So we're still a third-party app, as well as have features that are fully integrated, and it's being more and more integrated because we believe that the best experience is on platform and keeping users on task and on platform. So it's the whole process is there from start to finish without the need to go off platform. That said, of course, there are third-party apps which are available to help complement the mission. So if there's anything missing from the experience or additional that you want to add, it's all covered in the third-party app store.
Fantastic. Yeah, all in one place. So making it simple for us as online store owners to manage it, as well as for customers to have it all in a simple package as well, is key. So something I want to ask you, Jill, is something that we actually get asked quite a lot, and it's about the future of dropshipping and how it's evolving. And I'd be keen from your experience as well, is what are your thoughts on the dropshipping business model and how do you see it evolving?
The beauty of it is that it has great network effects, and it's even better for the end consumer, because end consumers, instead of going to big box retailers, they now have the chance to go find cool, interesting products online. And being that it's an endless aisle online, it gives merchants the ability to source something totally differentiated. And so behind the scenes, brands are able to sell their stories and have like products that have a like meaning behind it, and the retailers have a story to tell about the product instead of it being something entirely ubiquitous. So it's a great chance for anyone to find cool, unique products for their stores to be differentiated. And why I find it so interesting is that in order for a merchant to manage a dropship store, you're going to have more than one or two suppliers. It is necessary to connect to a platform just to keep inventory and price in sync so that a store never needs to worry about selling products that are out of stock and instead can focus on the curation and the marketing of their store, as well as the pricing. If the supplier changes the price, the margins are protected as long as it's flowing through the platform. So it is totally essential to have a dropship platform if you're managing multiple suppliers. And I highly recommend it, especially for the real-time sync. On top of that, we specialize in curating our suppliers. We accept about 10 to 15% of the suppliers who apply to Modalyst. And we look for certain things like it being a reliable business. So it's been around for a while and can demonstrate that they know how to work with retailers. They have good product reviews. Their pricing and the quality are well aligned, and the products are sellable. All those are really important, especially the reliability, that one is able to interact with merchants and can fulfill orders in the expected period of time. And so I think it's the platforms, ours inclusive, are extremely important for drop shipping. I actually even see that the dropship model works for brick and mortar stores, and I think this will become more and more extensive in the future. I'm always surprised that a store has like a curated assortment of products, or even a brand is a curated assortment and a full size one. And if you don't have a full size one, you have broken sizes you can't sell. I kind of predict that in the future, brands will have the entire assortment in a store. You can try on any size, and then it will be sent to the end consumer. And that gives you two experiences. You have the in-store experience, and then you have the unboxing experience. So there's two chances to build a beautiful brand around it. So I think dropshipping, while it's always talked about to be online in e-commerce, will grow to be even more impressive as it evolves into the brick and mortar world as well.
Fascinating. I can see that. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm just fascinated by, I'm glad you've built it around dropshipping, because similar to what we were talking about with Oren in terms of the democratization of the online store builders that we have now, dropshipping as a business model democratizes people getting into e-commerce. You don't have to have 10, 20, 30,000 pounds ready to go to invest in inventory or in a physical space. So we can get started very quickly. And obviously Wix plus the combination of Wix and Modalyst sounds like you get access to suppliers as well as the online store at the same time. Am I right in thinking that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you get access to like the whole assortment of suppliers, and we've built even more since the acquisition. We also now have print and demand as well. So we're big into personalization and customization of products, and I think that's a huge side of drop shipping that's like very important and growing in popularity.
Fantastic. Thank you, Jill. Yeah, it's good to hear how you built that around it, this business model. So you've obviously got a lot of experience. You'd have seen many drop shipping stores, some that do very well, some that don't do so well. But for our listeners to take away from this episode, could you think of a few like common traits that you see or themes that the best dropshipping stores have in common?
Yeah. Well, let's see. So let's go back to like retail or e-commerce 101. It is super important to have good pictures and good product descriptions. And as Oren was saying, a lot of that can be automated through AI and within the Wix platform. Product descriptions, the more descriptive you are, the more you can make the products feel alive and give it a voice, the better. So I think that's an absolute essential. Then even more importantly, I would say the curation is important. Make sure to curate something that is differentiated and not sell things that are ubiquitous across the internet. It is important for your store to have a voice and a point of view, and that to be exposed through not only the visuals of the store, but also through the product descriptions themselves. And I highly recommend that stores buy a product to test the quality so they can talk about it and feel it. And it allows them the chance to also take their own unique pictures. So while drop shipping can be drop shipped without owning the inventory, buying a sample, feeling it, touching it, being exposed to it, and being able to talk about it because you've experienced it yourself gives it a new life, and it gives the retailer and the merchant more emphasis on the product and the ability to sell it with that story. And then once the merchant has an established customer base, I think the user experience, the customer journey is extremely important. So do things that help stand out, be in touch with your customers, know them, listen to their feedback, put those feedback loops into place. That is how you curate a good store. Is you start with one product assortment, you see what works and what doesn't work, you adjust accordingly, you listen to your customers, and you build upon it. So you may have one hypothesis that starts with a fitness store, and it could totally evolve into, say, yoga only, or maybe another passion is food, and so you go into food-based products, but it may evolve into something else that's more print on demand related to food. So you never know where you're going to land. I think look at the data, listen to your customers, and think creatively.
Amazing, fantastic advice. I think as well as partnering that with the tools that Wix and you know the platforms that are out there for us now can provide, gives us amazing opportunities nowadays to get involved with e-commerce without having a huge barrier. And there's some great best practice tools there from you, Jill. Really appreciate those. Been some great insights today. It's good to get a feel for what Wix can offer for people that want to get started with e-commerce. Just to come back to Oren, for people that are feeling inspired and want to find out more about the work that you're doing and also what Wix can offer to people, where would you recommend that they go?
So I think the beautiful thing is that everything we talked about today, people that hear us today on the podcast can go out and try it for free, play with it, see how it goes on Wix.com. So I encourage you all to do it. If you're an agency, definitely encourage you to try out our new offering for agencies, Wix Studio. And then if you want to continue the conversation, feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn. Would be happy to further talk about it.
Amazing. Fantastic. Thank you very much, Oren and Jill. Great to have a low barrier for people to get started for free and see what they think. So thank you both for joining me on the podcast today. I appreciate both of your time. Thank you both.
It was great to be here. Thanks.
Thank you as well. This was fantastic. Appreciate it.
Well, Lewis, that conversation with Oren and Jill was incredibly insightful. I think their perspectives on the future of e-commerce and the dropshipping model were particularly interesting.
Yeah, absolutely, James. I found their advice was really interesting on when to invest. It's clear that understanding these elements can significantly impact the success of your e-commerce business. So great listen today.
Yeah, that's right. And it wasn't all about technology, the technology that they are implementing in order to achieve your goals. They also provided insights on consumer behavior and market trends, which are crucial for anyone looking to stay ahead in e-commerce.
If you were to combine the advice that you've heard in today's conversation with the framework that I lay out in my book, The Home Turf Advantage, it can provide you with a really solid foundation for success. If you can leverage the right tools and the right insights to build a thriving e-commerce using those models and the insights you've learned today, you'll be in a really good place. So for those looking to dive deeper, you can access a copy of my book at htabook.com. That's the best place to start.
Enjoying the podcast? We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment or a review, and we might just feature it on an upcoming episode. Also, for detailed show notes and resources, head to dropshipunlocked.com/podcast.
If you found value from any episode of this podcast, please take just 10 seconds to leave us a quick 5-star review on your podcast app of choice. It helps us more than you could imagine. And who knows, you might just hear your comments on the show. Thanks for being part of our community. Your support helps us keep delivering a new episode every week.
Now it's that time of the episode where we will answer a question that we've had in from a listener. So remember, if you want your questions answered, all you need to do is comment beneath the YouTube video version of this episode. So a big thank you to Mark Williams 8765 for your question. So Mark has asked, love this episode, chaps. What does the masterclass provide in terms of value and support for serious dropshippers?
Yeah, great question, Mark. So I think what sets Dropship Unlocked apart is our personalized coaching. Unlike many of the other courses that you'll see online, we provide personalized coaching and mentorship for people who are actively running the same business that you're building, including access to myself and my team, including James. Another key factor at Dropship Unlocked in our masterclass is the community and the network that you'll be surrounded by. Our active community of successful dropshippers offers you ongoing support. It offers you networking opportunities, so live in-person meetups that we arrange regularly, but also 2 live weekly calls where we have all your questions answered, as well as collaboration calls where you can just chat to other members in there as well, and real-time advice, creating an amazing environment where everybody thrives. So it's an electric community. It's a really, really good place to be. And it's the effect of the rising tide lifts all the boats. If you are in there, you're surrounded by other people who are taking it seriously and succeeding. It's almost hard not to take action in that environment. Finally, we also continuously update our content to reflect the latest trends and strategies in e-commerce. Things are always changing, always evolving. So if you want to ensure that you're always ahead of the curve, on the forefront of what is working now and implementing the most effective tactics, then the masterclass is the place to be.
Yeah, great question. And thank you, Lewis. I know the masterclass for me was a huge shortcut in getting me able to build a successful e-commerce business. So it's time now to read out a review that we've had in for the podcast as well. So a big thank you to Helen E for the Apple podcast review. So Helen said, I've been following and listening to the Dropship Unlocked podcast for the last few weeks and I'm loving it. Feeling so inspired. Love all the testimonies also, as it makes it even more achievable.
Thank you so much for your review, Helene. Now, before we go, I have one question for you that I'd really appreciate if you could help me with. Have you left us a review yet? If not, please leave our podcast a short review wherever you're listening to us today. It should take you about 10 seconds, but it does wonders for us, and it's a big part of what drives us. So if you'd like us to continue with this podcast and you haven't yet left us a review, please take a moment to do so now. Hopefully, we can read it out for you on the next episode.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of the Dropship Unlocked podcast. We hope you're walking away with insights and inspiration.
To kickstart your e-commerce journey, grab a copy of my book, The Home Turf Advantage, at htabook.com. It's a distilled guide based on real experience to help you build your e-commerce venture.
Don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more strategies and success stories. And if you like what you heard, a 5-star review would mean the world to us, and you might just get a shout out on an upcoming episode.
And finally, thank you for deciding to spend your time with us today. We can't wait to bring you more insights on the next episode of the Dropship Unlocked podcast.